Hey, this is Triggs. Welcome back to another one of my videos. This one's going to be a little bit different. It will be for new or relatively new players to DayZ, because I'm going to be giving us a walkthrough in my thought process as I'm playing the game. So from fresh spawn all the way through to the end game, which for me in this character's life was some PvP over at the airfield. So we'll cover things around choosing what loot to pick up, inventory management, what routes to take, when to take them, when to engage in PvP, when not to, all the stuff that goes through our head when we're playing this incredible game. It's from a 700-hour player's perspective, and sometimes it's good to get perspectives from that point of view, because when you're thousands of hours into the game, sometimes there are things that you forget that a new player is thinking about and going through. I'm relatively new to YouTube, still getting going with creating content around this game that I love, and if you liked the video, it would be amazing if you left a like, left a comment and subscribed. It would really help me out. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you on the other side. The animation with that pitchfork is so weird. Can you cut up stuff with this? No. Can cut up stuff with that, alright. The reason why I'm waiting to eat the food I've collected is so that my stomach isn't full for the drinking at the well. As where if I eat now and get a full stomach, I've got to wait before I can eat at the well, drink at the well. I can drink at the well now, loot around, and then I can come back. Is that a burlap sack? Guess on you, Jonna. The reason why I love finding a burlap sack is because it's a really cool way of getting a bag early game if you can't find one. So what you want to do is create or collect 12 rags, and once you've gotten those, you want to make a rope out of it like you see me doing here. Then you're going to collect a long stick from a bush, and you're going to break that down into 3 short sticks. Then you're going to combine the rope that you've made from your rags to the burlap sack. That's going to enable you to create a burlap courier bag, and then once you've gotten that courier bag, you can combine that with the 3 short sticks that you've got, and that will give you a burlap backpack with 35 cheeky slots. So it's just a really cool way of getting a bag early game. Hey man. Mate, I've literally not spawned in 10 minutes ago. Surely you're not wanting to kill me. Have you got a mic? No? Hey man. Have a good one. Thanks for not killing me! That's a classic example of why it's so important to have a mic and use your voice in DayZ. As you can see, that player was fully geared and he was ready to shoot me. He's probably on his way to meet a mate, and it's only because I use my voice and open comms with him that I managed to talk him out of it. So DayZ has the rule where no mic, no life, and it is incredible how powerful using your voice is, especially when it comes to saving your life like you've just seen me do there. So don't be shy, get your mic out and jump on comms. Can't be bothered going to the castle. I reckon it would have been looted. Yeah, I just think, especially with that player in the vicinity, I just reckon that's going to be looted. So I can't be bothered to go up there. I forget which direction the sun rises and sets. I think it rises in the east, doesn't it? Sets in the west. Sets in the west. So, yeah, no, I think it's just coming up. Do you reckon that's enough meat? Yeah, baby. There's those stilted over this way. Yeah. Now you've just heard me call out, is there a stilted? I'm talking about the house over on the left there, the red one. It's the house that's got the steps on the outside. It's raised up. Sometimes you need to go through 2 doors. That's my main go-to for cooking. So I've now got all this meat from the kill that I've just made, and I prefer this one because it just feels like I've got an extra layer of security there that buys me a couple of seconds. The fact that a player's got to come up some steps, sometimes through 2 doors, it just feels like I've got an extra couple of seconds notice if a player is approaching. The risk to watch out for when cooking in this house, that grass bank off to the right that you're seeing now, that enables players to see in through the elevated windows of the house. So it's a bit of a false sense of security because you are elevated in that house. You feel like players can't see in through windows, but of course they can easily if they're up on that grass bank on the left there. And I've been caught out a couple of times. I've been killed because I just assumed that I was safe in the elevated position, and I've had players just snipe me. Top tip for when you're cooking to speed things up: whilst you're having 2 bits of meat cooking on a big stove like this, have 4 bits of meat. As you can see me putting on 4 bits of meat in the smoking area. That just means that meat is heating up whilst it's getting ready to be baked in the 2 slots below. And the second little tip for safety, and this is something I've learnt the hard way, is when you're cooking, take a stand back from the fire so that you can hear your surroundings better. When you're close up to the fire, all you're really going to hear is the snap and crackle of the fire and the meat cooking. But stand back where you see me now and you'll be able to hear the surroundings better. I've had a couple of occasions where being too close to the fire where I am now, and someone's been able to sneak in without me even hearing and killed me. Where's my flipping sickle? Thought I dropped something. A little bit more subtle than the luminous green, wouldn't you say? Careless. I'll keep it for a second. What's that? Same, isn't it? Yeah. And a Vega mag. when it comes to my inventory order, the way that I manage that, ultimately it's a subjective thing, so have it whatever way makes sense to you. But for me, I like to have, starting from the top, I like to have my medic and food. Then next down in my pants, I like to have ammo and mags, and if I've got room, sidearms. And then in my bag I like to have miscellaneous stuff, so batteries, melee weapons, repair kits, stuff like that. And then if there's an overflow of food or ammo or mags, that goes in the bag as well. Have heard other players talk about having heavier stuff in the bag, so that if you're low on stamina and you need a little injection of stamina, then you can just quickly drop your bag. But I've not been in too many situations where I've needed that. So as I said, it's a subjective thing, but that's how I like to order things. Food, medic at top, ammo, middle, and then miscellaneous stuff at the bottom. I don't know where one of those guns is. That was in the shed, wasn't it, by the PD. Could get me killed. Just going back for CR75. Okay, the start of another beautiful day in Chernarus. Let's see what the journey holds. Where is that? Shakovka. I might go and have a cheeky look at that. Oh, sod it, let's do it. I'm not 100% sure that this is where it was from, but logically speaking, it was. There are a couple of Z's, but they aren't aggroed. Z over there, I can't tell if it's aggroed or not, I don't think it is. And I can't see any dead Z's. So maybe it wasn't here. I don't think it was a baiting shot, it was too brief for that. I don't think it was a gunfight, because again, too brief for that. Could have been, but highly doubtful. I think it was someone trying to kill, or killing Z's. But if it was here, then I would be looking at dead Z's, wouldn't I? And the shot was outside. And whoever's fired those shots, they're not going to be hanging around, are they? That's why I was in a rush to get here before they move on, because most people know that once you go loud, you don't want to stay around in the area that you've gone loud in. Oh well, at least I tried. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I'm not going to Guglovo, I'm going to go to the... go and see if there's a... what do you call it? A convoy at... Kamiuna. I'll put the name up. So what I would say is it becomes habitual in the game to just move from town to town to loot. You know, it just becomes natural to think, okay, where's the next town? Go there and just have a poke around to loot, which is fine if you're looking for something specific. And yeah, if you look at my inventory, there are things that I need right now. Like I would like a sewing kit, some epoxy, and a couple of other things. So I'm not finished looting, I don't have everything that I need, but I feel like I've got enough gun protection right now to kind of skip towns and stages, and I've certainly got enough food and water. So you just, with your character, you just have to kind of get a feel for where your character's at. Each character that you have, each life is different, and it progresses at different paces and different stages. So it's good to just pay attention to where your character's at and adjust your route and your plan accordingly to how you're doing. At the minute I've got plenty of food, my water's fine, you're never too far from water, so you never really need to worry about that, and I've got decent protection at the minute. I've even got a, albeit badly damaged or damaged, stab vest. So I'm not desperate to go into towns and just look for loot for the sake of it. At some point I will want to go and find a leather sewing kit, but that's not a priority. The priority right now is to improve my ballistic protection and upgrade my guns. That's why I'm skipping Goglovo, the next town, and I'm gonna go and see if I've got this convoy that should just be along the road here. No, it's not here, is it? Sometimes what happens is the vehicles of the convoy despawn but leave the loot behind, so it's always worth checking. Even if the vehicles aren't there, just have a check on the road, check in the surrounding area, just to see if there is any loot remaining. So what I'm doing now, this is I mean, you really want to be doing this whatever town or high traffic area you're going into, but particularly if it is a high traffic area, not even high traffic, well I suppose it's high traffic, but a sought after source of loot, which is what this summer camp is. It's somewhere that you can find decent guns, scopes, ammo. Can you find protection here? Ballistic protection? No, not on official servers. So just having a little scope out, getting a feel for the land, both in the camp and also in the surrounding area, because this is what I'm doing now is what a lot of players do, which is they don't just go charging in. They, particularly if you're playing solo, you find a vantage point around the area to just get a feel for it. And what I'm doing is, when I'm not blabbering on, is I like to just be quiet for a few minutes, just see if I can hear anything in the camp around me, anything that just gives me an idea of what's going on here. Obviously using my eyes to see if I can see any movement. Something that I've noticed a lot of players do is that they, in this kind of situation that I'm doing now, they don't stop moving just in case they are spotted. You always assume that someone's watching you, right? That's the that's a good thing to remember when you're playing this game. And so they'll be moving around like this, you know, whilst they're scoping out, they'll be moving like this. And certainly if you think there's a good chance that someone is aware of your presence, then sure, that's good. But sometimes I think that movement is detrimental. Sometimes I think that movement obviously gives your position away, and if you were just still, A, you can hear better, but B, easily be overlooked. Like, if you're hiding in a tree, sort of like I am, if you're stationary, I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times people have just run straight past me just because I'm still, right? So it's just finding that balance between when it's time to be still and listen and when it's time to be moving. Okay, I've given it a few minutes and I'm happy that I don't think anyone's here, so I'm going to make my way down, but I'm still going to do it pretty cautiously. Again, particularly as a solo player, if you're playing in a squad of 2 or more, you can afford to be a bit more kamikaze. And again, as you get to know the game, you get to know what are the likely spots for people. So up in the windows of the log cabin up there. You're just looking for little telltale signs. A door's open, a door's shut. Is there any loot lying around where it wouldn't normally be? So what you'll notice me doing as well is that I'm using my middle button to bring up my inventory to check the vicinity, this box here on the top left. Because so many times, particularly on these beds, you'll see little bits of ammo that you don't see with the naked eye. I always use my vicinity just to double check that I haven't missed anything, which I often do. There you go. Classic example. So I'm not going to go in that door, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I prefer coming in this door. Little look here. Again, always just checking your surroundings, particularly where you've come from. So the reason why I don't come in that door anymore is because a couple of lives ago I died when I came in this door, and I checked that angle first, and I got shot from a dude just sat there. So he was up here, and he would have had enough of an angle, and he's quite well protected, isn't he? Like, you'd have to come, he can see my legs before I could see him, because of this ledge here, this wall. So coming in that door is a bit dodge. So at this point my gun situation hasn't improved, and there is a military, there's what do you call it, starry military up there in that direction. This is Novi. So now I'm faced with the choice: do I go into that town looking for some guns, or do I just carry on to the military, which is a higher traffic area and higher stakes? Like, there's a greater chance of encountering someone in there. There's less of a chance of encountering someone in this town, albeit it is quite a popular town. So these are all the kind of things going through your head constantly, and it doesn't matter what decision you make. Every decision in DayZ is a gamble. All you can do is try to make the least riskiest decision. I think I'm just going to go to the military. This is so dodge. Look at how open everything is for the whole world to see me. The key places to look out for are in this barn. Someone might be in there overwatching the camp, and the tree line up there above the camp. Going back to what I said about being still and moving, this is a classic case where I've just come through a massive open field, so there is a high chance that someone somewhere has seen me, and I'm now assuming that eyeballs are on me, or someone is at least aware that I'm in this area. So I want to keep moving. I'm not worried about being still at the minute. I want to keep moving. bit frustrating. I haven't been able to upgrade my guns yet. It's beginning to be a bit of a frustration now that I've made it this far into the map with the guns that I do. A BK-18 and a Vega. I would have hoped for some kind of sniper rifle by now. Maybe I will loot this town a bit. Just a couple of the houses on the edge. There we go. There we go. So I've just arrived at VMC and it's currently sitting under a gas cloud. So there could be players hanging around waiting for that to clear. This hill is one of the popular places that people like to overwatch generally. There might be some players up there waiting. Or to be honest, if they are waiting, they could be waiting from anywhere, couldn't they? There is a convoy there. Let's see what we can get here. Pioneer. Fucking hell. Fuck's sake. I think there's a Pioneer mag here somewhere. So I've taken the Pioneer because I don't mind using the Mosin as a sort of close quarter weapon when it hasn't got a scope on, and I really wanted some range, and sometimes you just got to make decisions, go with it. Plus I was getting tired of having ammo clog up, so I had to make a decision. I've gone with the Pioneer. Not actually got too much experience with the Pioneer before, but see what happens, eh? Oh, it's cleared. Nice. Oh, it's already a dead Z here. I don't know if Z's get killed by the gas or not. So I don't know if that dead Z means that there's a player around or whether it was the gas. time I got out of here. Take that battery. I'll head to that chopper crash if I can. Just need to get out of this immediate area first. Loads of noise. I think the poor fellow was a bit injured from the Z's. So he didn't seem to be moving very well, which made him a bit of an easier target to shoot. But I don't know how I missed that first shot. Flip me. I think he was standing still. I mean, the server is glitching out a bit, so like, I don't want to sound like one of those people that's making excuses for missing really easy shots. If I missed an easy shot, I want to call it as it is. It was crap. But I'll look back at it. But the server is being a little bit glitchy. And I just want to ram a point home about this game, just in case anyone watching is feeling a little bit kind of frustrated at the challenge of the game, or the regularity of dying and all that kind of stuff. But that player died because he was just unlucky that I happened to be there when he was there, when he was taking silent shots. You know, I was very close to just calling it, looting that base and just forgetting it and leaving a bit earlier because it looked like it had already been looted. And so the point is that this game is just a game of chance. Like, you can be a really good PvP player, you can do all the things right that you should in terms of, you know, not rushing into places, making sure that you're scoping things out before you go rushing in. But at the end of the day, you're at the mercy of luck. If a player just happens to be there, you know, next time it's going to be me, do you know what I mean? The amount of times that I've died just running through a random area like this, and someone just happens to be in a bush, it's absolute luck. Yes, there is skill involved, but it is in the main luck. There it is. There's my baby. Yeah, that's the one above Starry. I'm going to stick with the Pioneer as my long range for now. I know that I picked up a PU scope for the Mosin, but I'm going to stick with the Pioneer for now just because I've not used it before. But things could change at this chopper crash if there's anything decent there. There could be someone in that tree line, but I'm just going to go for it. Really? Fucking hell. Yes, please. That. Fuck's sake. No flipping decent gun. Again. I hardly ever get decent weaponage from a flipping chopper crash. I mean, to be honest, I could probably just go to the airfield now. Yeah, I can't believe the amount of times that I don't find a gun at a chopper. It's so annoying. When it comes to clothing, apart from insulation, you always want to be thinking about the colour of them. And it goes without saying that the darker colour, the harder you're going to be spotted by the players. And so on my way to the airfield, I stopped off in Cabanino and found these darker colour hunter pants and pea coat. At this point I've got a VSS, Pioneer and Mosin, and I'm going to use the VSS as my close quarter to mid-range weapon. Now this is a personal preference, but I don't like to have any scope on my VSS or whatever weapon I'm using for my close range. I like to just use the iron sight, and that's simply because I just want as much of a field of view as possible, and I find having scopes on my mid-range weapons when I'm looking to get involved in close quarter, I just find that it takes up visual sight and blocks my view and stuff. So I just like to keep it simple, keep my field of view open, and just have the iron sight. New day. That door's open. Someone's definitely over there. Just heard shots, and there's obviously some Z's there. Finally some shots to chase. Where is it? It's going to be at the camp. Fucking hell, I can't believe I was on 100 there. Where are they gone? Why are those shots missing? I don't understand. Fuck. Oh, wow. Well, I've always said that I don't mind dying as long as it's from a good gunfight, and I really enjoyed that one. I hope you enjoyed the video too, and that you found something to take away from it that will help you in your own DayZ journey. And if you did like it and you did find it helpful, please do consider leaving a like or subscribe. It massively helps, and I'll see you in the next one.